Okay, so take out this quiz 5. I feel like you guys are. Okay, so question number 1 says this. The word incarnation means what? In the flesh. B, in the flesh. Number 2, the word that indicates a visible appearance of God, but not in physical form. Theophany. D. Yes, sir. Theophany. D. And then number 3, the Greek word for dwelt means tabernacled. A. Are we having this at the 9th? Number 4, the glory of God is His. It's His graces and attributes. That is not the question I would ask you, because it doesn't even make sense to you. So, His grace and who He is. Now, I need to teach this part, so you need to listen, because you will see this question again. Ladies, can you turn this way? Make it harder for you to. I told the first hour classes, but I didn't tell you this. So that when it says that he came as a witness to bear witness to the light about John, it's saying about John the Baptist, he came to bear witness. He came as a witness to bear witness to the light, to bear witness to Jesus. The background of that word, the word itself is martyria. You can see it up here, martyria. What English word do you maybe see in that word? Martyr. And so the etymology, which is like the history of the word, comes from the word martyr, one who dies in Christian faith, one who dies for Christ or for believing in Christ. But a martyr can be anybody who dies for a cause. So why would, and I'm going to answer my own question, why would the word witness be tied to the word martyr? Ladies? So why would this word martyr be tethered to witness? Because the first witnesses of Christ, the first disciples of Christ, most of them were martyred. Indeed, of the 12, one, of course, took his own life. Now, of the 11, only one died a natural death. And that's John. Everyone else was martyred for their faith. Now, John was he wasn't martyred, but he did experience persecution. In fact, the early church documents, it says that he was boiled in oil, and he died a natural death. But on that, he was exiled to the island of Patmos. So he definitely was persecuted. But he died a natural death. All the others were martyred. Some were beheaded. Some were crucified themselves. Early church history states that Peter, and we don't know this. This is tradition, so we don't know this for sure. But he was crucified, but he didn't think he was worthy of dying the same way Jesus did. So he asked to be crucified upside down. So this idea of being a witness, it comes at a cost. And at some point, I'll read to you from Cost of Discipleship by Dietrich Bonhoeffer. And he talks about cheap grace and about the cost that we bear for following Christ, but largely in our country, nobody cares if you're not going to be. You might be made fun of, but you're not going to be martyred for your faith. But there are many places around the world where you would be martyred. One of my dear former students is in a country where if she and her husband are found out as Christians, they will be martyred, or at least in prison. So there are places where um, punishment can be found. So you need to know that because you're going to see that question again. So the Greek word translated witness is connected to the English word martyr. The answer is C to that. To what event does the phrase "the Word made flesh" refer? The incarnation of Christ, and good job there, Aaron, for saying the incarnation and not just the birth of Christ, because the incarnation, the birth of Christ is a birth, but it's more than a birth. It's not a normal birth, right? So the incarnation is God being made flesh. So and the Word became flesh, something he was not before. And so that is the incarnation. It's more than just his birth. Which Christian holiday commemorates this event? Christmas. What is the Greek word that means the word or the expression of God? Do you remember? Logos or Logos. Now, this last part, and we won't do the extra credit because I'm not taking a grade on this, obviously. I think I mentioned the last essay, I got a sentence or two, and so I want to give you an example of what I'm expecting when I grade these. I'm expecting more than a sentence or two. It says it's an essay. It's not really an essay, but it's at least a short answer. And short doesn't mean. But an essay is usually a multi-paragraph sort of thing. And you'll be writing some of those for me next year. So explain the significance of the doctrine of the incarnation of Christ to our salvation. So what does the incarnation of Christ have to do with our salvation? So I'm gonna read my, this would get full credit, and I'm gonna read my whole answer to you, and I want you to write it down word for word, because I want you to see what I'm asking, or what I'm expecting when you answer a question like this. So here's what I wrote down. The incarnation showed God's love for us. The incarnation showed God's love for us in that he sent his only son. So the incarnation showed God's love for us in that he sent his only son into the world to be born in the flesh, and to suffer the problems, pressures, sorrows, and temptation of this world. Now we're not done, but I'm going to read it from the beginning in case you missed something. The incarnation showed God's love for us in that he sent his only Son into the world to be born in the flesh and to suffer the problems, pressures, sorrows, and temptations of this world, so that he could die on a cross, as my substitute. Thereby, T-H-E-R-E-B-Y, thereby, in so doing would be another way of putting it, paying the penalty, thereby paying the penalty for all who would believe in him, thereby paying the penalty for all who would believe in him. He was born to die for our salvation. He was born to die for our salvation. A good rule of thumb, you're not writing. A good rule of thumb on these kinds of answers is give me more. Give me more than you think I want. And then you'll probably be okay. I'd much rather have a more complete answer, a more detailed answer, than a less detailed answer. Okay, any questions about that? Okay, so